The GT 730 and GT 1030 are some pretty solid options for those of you that only want to buy new PC parts or live in countries where the prices are completely ridiculous right now. So today we're going to compare the two and see if either one of them are worth your money here in 2018. Let's get into it. Hey, welcome to Zach's Tech Turf. Today we're going to be comparing the super budget GT 730 and GT 1030 and see if they're worth your money here in 2018. If you want to see more graphics card videos or PC building videos, then hit that subscribe button down below and also that notification bell, that way you never miss an episode. But before getting into this comparison, I want to give a quick disclaimer. Both the GT 730 and GT 1030 will never give you the best price to performance ratio because they'll always be trumped by better used part deals. Please don't think that I personally think these are the best graphics card options out there. I actually made a video on what cards I do think are the best, so let's talk about who would actually buy these GPUs. Despite not giving the best bang for your buck performance, a lot of you are still interested in these cards because A, you either don't want to buy used parts where you don't get a warranty or don't get a guarantee that they work. Trust me, I'm with you on that. Or you live in a country where used GPUs are still super expensive and these are still a cheap option. Alright, so with all that out of the way, let's introduce the exact cards that we'll be testing with today. This is a PMY GT 730 that's rocking 1GB of GDDR5, a core clock of 902 MHz, 384 CUDA cores, and a TDP of only 38 watts. The GT 1030 that we're looking at today is from MSI, and this is rocking 2GB of GDDR5, a core clock of 1265 MHz, a boost clock of 1518 MHz, 384 CUDA cores, and a TDP of 30 watts. Both of these cards actually come with a low profile bracket, that way you can install them in those super thin regular desktop OEM computers, and with the super low power consumption requirement, you can pretty much put these in any PC that's currently running. The testing rig that we're using today is rocking an i7 4790K that boosts up to 4.4 GHz, 16GB of RAM, an MSI Gaming 5 motherboard, and the games are installed on a standard Western Digital 7200 RPM hard drive. The settings that you're about to see are the settings that I would personally game at, and I always try to hit close to that 60 FPS mark, and I'll keep the settings the same for both cards, that way we can get a good comparison, and also the footage that you're about to see matches the settings, so that way you know what the game will look like. The first game up was CSGO, and like all of my other benchmarking videos, we stuck with 1080p resolution and high settings with no anti-aliasing. The GT 730 was able to manage a very playable 66 FPS, but the GT 1030 actually doubled that performance with an average of 133. Next up was the ever so popular Fortnite. Sorry I don't have Drake playing with me, but here in 1080p and low settings with a locked resolution scale of 100%, the GT 730 averaged 44 FPS and the 1030 did 115 FPS, almost 3 times better performance here. Here we have Rocket League in 1080p with a quality render quality and a quality render detail, and the GT 730 averaged 42 FPS and the GT 1030 averaged 75 FPS. Like I said I was gonna do, a much more demanding to run game, Project Cars 2 was up next, and with a 1080p resolution and the absolute lowest possible settings, the GT 730 could only crank out an average of 32 frames per second, and the 1030 did an impressive 76. And finally, the last game I tested was the brand new Far Cry 5. I actually did an entire video benchmarking this game with budget graphics cards, and in 720p and the lowest settings, I only averaged 19 frames per second with the 730 and an impressive 50 FPS with the 1030. This is definitely a tough one to run. So as you can see, these cards can actually play pretty much any game you throw at it, but you're definitely going to have to knock down the settings a little bit, and there's actually quite a big gap between the 730 and the 1030. I would personally only recommend these cards if you refuse to buy used PC parts or if you live in a country with ridiculous prices. And also, if you're currently rocking a GT 730, which I know quite a few of my viewers are, then the 1030 is certainly an upgrade option for you, but I would personally save up a bit more money and go with something much better like a GTX 1050 or 1050 Ti. Well, that wraps up my comparison of the GT 730 and GT 1030. Like I said, these are still somewhat capable gaming GPUs, and I know a lot of you budget gamers are interested in these, so hopefully this video helped. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please drop a like down below to help support my channel. Also down there is a link to zachstechturf.com so you can really support the channel and buy baller hoodies like this. And as always, thank you for watching, and please subscribe for more Zach's Tech Turf videos.